So hi friends, today we are going to talk about norma lateralis. So what norma lateralis is? It is the lateral aspect of viewing of skull bones or cranium from the lateral view. So the bones which make up norma lateralis are frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital, zygomatic, mandible, maxilla and nasal bone. So in norma lateralis, two temporal lines are visible, superior and inferior temporal line. Superior temporal line extends and fades away somewhat in between, but inferior temporal line becomes continuous with the supramastoid crest, and then it is continuous with posterior root of zygomatic arch. So what is zygomatic arch? It is also called as zygoma. It is formed by temporal process of zygomatic bone in its anterior one-third and zygomatic process of temporal bone in its posterior two-third. Zygomatico-temporal suture is present between these two bones, which runs backward and downwards. So the gap which is formed between skull and this zygomatic arch is deep in front than behind. Lateral surface of zygomatic arch is subcutaneous. Anterior end of upper border of zygomatic arch is also called jugal point. At the posterior end of zygomatic arch, there are two roots, anterior and posterior root. At the junction of anterior and posterior root, articular tubercle is present. Anterior root runs medially in front of articular fossa or mandibular fossa, whereas posterior root runs backwards and above external acoustic meatus and is continuous with supramastoid crest. So articular fossa is the place where the head of mandible is going to get attached. Behind the articular fossa, there is a postglenoid tubercle. External acoustic meatus opens below posterior root of zygoma, which is the way to the inner ear. Its anterior, inferior and lower part of posterior margin are formed by tympanic plate, whereas its posterior-inferior margin is formed by squamous temporal bone and auricular cartilage attach here. So there is a depression which is posterior-superior to this meatus, which is called as suprameatal triangle or triangle of McEwen. The boundaries of this triangle are above by supramastoid crest, behind vertical tangent to posterior margin of external acoustic meatus, and posterior superiorly by external meatus. Mastoid part of temporal bone is present behind external acoustic meatus. A point called asterion is also present, which is very important as three sutures meet here: posterior inferior parieto-mastoid suture, posteriorly occipito-mastoid suture meet with the lambdoid suture. This is the site for mastoid or posterolateral fontanelle, which closes by 12 months. From mastoid part, there is a projection called mastoid process, which is posterior inferior to external acoustic meatus and appears during second year of life. Tympanomastoid fissure anterior to the base of the mastoid process. A foramen called mastoid foramen lies near occipito-mastoid suture. So now what is styloid process? It is a needle-like thin long projection from norma basalis and is anteromedial to the mastoid process. What is temporal fossa? The boundaries of temporal fossa are to the above superior temporalis line, below upper border of zygomatic arch and infratemporal crest of greater wing of sphenoid. The gap between zygomatic arch and temporal fossa communicates with the infratemporal fossa. Floor of this fossa is formed by a H-shaped suture which is formed by 4 bones, which are frontal, parietal, greater wing of sphenoid, and temporal bone. The meeting point of these sutures is called pterion, which have a great clinical importance. Deep to it are middle meningeal vein, anterior division of middle meningeal artery, stem of lateral sulcus of brain, also called as sylvial point. On temporal surface of zygomatic bone, there is a fossa called zygomaticotemporal fossa. Told that pterion is of great clinical importance as it is one of the most thinnest part of skull. Anterior division of middle meningeal artery can rupture in some kind of injury or some accident. Then clot formation between skull and dura mater may happen, or there may be an extradural hemorrhage that may compress the motor areas and may cause paralysis of opposite side of the body. Now let us talk about attachments. Temporal fascia. Superiorly, it is attached to superior temporal line and the space between the two temporal lines, that is superior and inferior temporal line. Inferiorly, temporal fascia is attached to outer and inner lip of upper border of zygomatic arch of temporalis muscle. It arises from whole temporal fossa except that part of zygomatic bone which makes it. Deep to it are deep temporal vessels and nerves. Middle temporal vessels produce vascular markings on temporal bone above external acoustic meatus. Masseter muscle. It originates from medial surface and lower border of zygoma. Mastoid process. Lateral surface of mastoid process have anterior to posterior part some muscle attachments that are sternocleidomastoid, splenius capitis, and longissimus capitis. Mastoid notch or digastric notch is a groove present on medial surface of mastoid process which give origin to posterior belly of digastric. The gap between zygomatic arch and side of skull transmits tendon of temporalis, deep temporal vessels, and deep temporal nerve. Auricular branch of vagus nerve passes from tympanomastoid fissure. From mastoid foramen, emissary vein connects sigmoid sinus with posterior auricular vein. Zygomaticotemporal foramen transmits the nerve of same name and a minute artery with the same name, that is zygomaticotemporal nerve and vessel.